Speaking of the Pelicans, let's get into what happened on the court last night. A lot of talk is about Zion's minutes. He played 15 minutes in 4 short bursts. He wasn't in the game at the end when Brandon Ingram's bucket rattled in and out at the buzzer. I mean, look, it was surprising Zion even played in the first place, but what was your reaction to how they used him last night?
Well, I think, first of all, obviously, it's nice to see he's still got the touch around the basket. He was very effective scoring the basketball. But 2 things. I see a lot of people complaining about his minutes and why didn't he play at the end. And I said there's 2 things. One, he looked out of shape. He looked tired. He looked winded. He looked like he wasn't ready to play that many minutes. But more importantly, other than scoring, he didn't play well. He had 0 rebounds in all of his minutes. Defensively, he was a sieve out there. He was getting carved up. And the team overall was a -16 when he was on the floor. In a game where you lost by only 2 or 3 points, that's huge. So all these people questioning, well, Alvin should have rationed his minutes out better so he would be available at the end. Like, he didn't play well. Just because you score the basketball, there are other parts of the game.
First of all, I mean, who cares? As a franchise player and a superstar in the making, I don't care if he had a -24. If your franchise player want to be on the court, you got to put him on the court. You know the rules of me. The people who get the players that get paid the big bucks, they deserve to be on the court. You know that.
He winded out there. He was huffing and puffing. He wanted a seat. He didn't want to go out on the court.
Well, look, I mean, he according to reports, he didn't work out when he was away from the bubble dealing with a family emergency. You can't work out when you're in quarantine. So that's why, it was even surprising that he played after really just only having a couple days while he's in the bubble 5-on-5. But, to your point, Perk, how do you see the rest of the seeding games playing out for Zion and the Pelicans specifically as, they have a lot of ground to make up in order to get in position to force a play-in game or get into that 8th seed?
Well, listen, last night they took a tough loss, and they played extremely well, but they need Zion. They need Zion. And I think Josh Hart alluded to it a couple of weeks ago. He said if we would have had Zion for the full season, we would be a 4th or 5th seed, and I believe him. He brings so much to the table. I agree. He needs to get a couple practices under his belt, but they don't have time for that. So my question to everyone is, when are you going to insert him? When is the time? Right now is the time. And if I'm Coach Gentry, when Zion is coming out of the game or it's a timeout, I'm going up to Zion and I'm asking him, hey, how you feeling? You feel like you can go or you want to shut it down? I'm going to let Zion determine that. I'm not, as the Pelicans in the organization, they shouldn't determine that. Let Zion be the guy to determine whether or not how many minutes or if he feels good enough to go out there and play.
I don't know if you can entrust the rookie to decide when, you'd have to have some medical experts to weigh in here. And if there's a time to listen to doctors, it's now.
Cassidy,
but, yeah? Yes, Bert?
This is not your average rookie. This is not your
I know,
average
but
rookie.
as we've heard, he's going to say he just wants the ball. And so, this guy is the face of a franchise. Look, I'm in between, because I have an issue with how short the bursts were. They were like 1 to 3 minutes as opposed to just, him getting a rhythm. But the time is now. They have the Clippers tomorrow, Grizzlies on Monday. Reminder, the 9th seed just needs to be within 4 games of the AC to force a play-in. Now, the second game of the night of last night was also exciting. Came down to the last shot as the Lakers defeated the Clippers behind LeBron's clutch shooting and defense. After the game, he posted this video of himself saying he was exhausted laying on the floor of his room. Perk, what do you think about LeBron's defensive effort at the end there? And is this sustainable? He played a lot of minutes in this first game.
Well, listen, Cassidy. First of all, I thought this was LeBron James' best defensive game in the last 3 years, and I'm being honest. But look, everyone want to focus on how he locked up Kawhi in the fourth quarter, and then switched out on PG and contained him for the last shot. But throughout the game, anytime he guarded PG or Kawhi, they did not score. They turned the ball over, or they couldn't even get a shot up. So LeBron James, and that's the beauty of LeBron James. Even when he's not on offensively, he still finds other ways to affect the game, and that's just a testimony to his greatness.
Yo, Perk, I'm going to jump and I'm going to say that's the best defense he's played in about 5 or 6 years for a regular season game, for a non-playoff game. You're absolutely right. I was blown away last night consistently through the game. He was active, he was talking, he was helping, he was switching, and when he was on a guy, he didn't give up. He didn't give any straight line drives. He kept readjusting and turning the player and contesting the shot. He played an all-around defensive masterpiece game, but as we saw in that video, he's tired afterwards. This is why he doesn't do it in the regular season, folks. He doesn't have unlimited energy just to be wasting on a January game against Cleveland or against the Knicks. He's got to save it for when it matters. Last night was a big game for them because they wanted to make a statement against those Clippers that, hey, when I want to, I can turn it on. And he did it last night. And so I won't expect a whole lot more in the next 7 games, seeding games that he's got to play. But definitely when the playoffs start, I think we'll see that come back.
Yeah, they just need to win one more game to lock up that 1 seed. But Amin, so much talk. You said, going up against this Clippers team, but they were without 2 of their best players, and you could say 2.5. This Patrick Beverley really didn't play the full gamut of the game. So did this game tell you more about the Lakers or Clippers in your mind, Amin?
Well, it told me more about the Lakers. I love seeing Dion Waiters out there look effective and aggressive out there. J.R. Smith, a little rustless to be understood, but he looked good. Like as I said when we talk about the exhibition scrimmages, he doesn't look physically slow or tired or out of shape like, I don't know, some dude on New Orleans. But the idea is that once they look good, I just know that over time with enough reps, they're going to play well. And so this was a very encouraging sign. And finally seeing LeBron take that defensive assignment and show that he can do that when he wants to. That's going to be key because when you play against the Clippers in the conference finals, which I think we all expect to happen, you're going to want Kawhi Leonard and Paul George thinking, yeah, he's not an old man that I can have my way with. I got to come with my A game or else I'm going to get embarrassed out there.
Perk, do you think we're seeing this matchup 4 to 7 times in the Western Conference Finals?
No, I don't.
Oh.
No, I don't. I mean, and this is, I think the Houston Rockets are going to come up in the standings, and I see the Houston Rockets and the Clippers playing in the second round, and I strongly believe that the Houston Rockets could beat the Clippers. Some may disagree, I don't. But listen, let me tell you about the Clippers, though. First of all, I know they was missing Lou Will, and I know they was missing Montrezl. A lot of firepower on the offensive end, but it's a such thing of having too much firepower, and I think the Clippers have that because when you're trying to win a championship, you need your stars, but you also need your role players. And so everyone could preach it, but when you get on the court, are you going to be willing to do it? And I think the Clippers are deep, but they have a lot of guys that need the ball in their hands.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.